This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Hi friends, in this Business Intelligence Master program. So in today's session, we are going to talk about how to use pivot and unpivot transformation. This is also very useful. Okay. Please be in mute, friends, whoever maybe. Yeah. Now we in today's session we will talk about scenarios, then mapping data flow actions, estimations, prerequisite, and required resources. Then with respect to demo, I will just show you how to create data lake storage Gen 2 and create Azure Data Factory V2. So because I just want data lake storage Gen 2, I don't require the databases and other stuff. So that's why I'm just creating the data lake storage Gen 2. And I will create Data Factory V2. I will create linked service for Gen 2 dataset pipeline. I'll just debug the pipeline. So mostly we are debugging the pipeline. So if possible, we will see how to run pipeline with schedule trigger today, because anyhow we learned complete information about schedule trigger, tumbling window trigger, then we talked about event trigger. Okay. Next we will talk about how to monitor the pipeline. We will see the how we can monitor pipeline. Let's talk about scenarios. We will see how to perform pivot transformation, how to perform unpivot transformation. Okay, what is pivot transformation is basically whatever rows you have, rows I want to convert into columns. Okay, example, if you remember, we have a something called credit type, card type, Mastercard, Visa card, right? So what I wanted to do, these Master and Visa cards are available in a column or row. As of now, those are available as a rows, records, right? These rows I want to convert into columns. So for that, I'm going to use a pivot transformation. In the same way, that exact information I want to roll back. That is nothing but unpivot transformation. To convert rows to columns, we are going to use a pivot. To convert columns to rows, we are going to use the unpivot. To convert columns to rows, we are going to use the unpivot transformation. Then in this session, we are going to see source transformation, pivot transformation, unpivot transformation, and the map drifted transformation. What happens when you converted columns, when you converted columns to rows? Oh, sorry. In pivot transformation, this map drifted transformation will come. In pivot transformation, what you are doing, you are basically converting rows to columns. Okay, when you are converting rows to columns, those columns, if you want to add it to your into your output, you need to use a map drifted transformation. Then you can, if you want to use a derived column, I'm going to use a derived column for my transformation. I'm going to use the derived transformation today. Then sync transformation. These are the transformation I'm going to use. Don't worry, I will show you why I'm going to use this derived transformation today. Okay, so when I converted those rows to columns, I will get master score, master card, how much credit score customer is having. In Visa card, what is the credit score customer is having. Those two I will compare. If both are same, I will say eligible. If both are not same, I will say it is a ineligible. Okay, those things I will show you. Sorry. So yeah, I think I forgot to make all these changes. That's okay. Now you see pivot transformation. In this, you can see this is the credit ID. This is what from this is the credit ID, credit type, credit name, credit score. Now what I'm doing, you see, I'm just converting these rows into columns. You see, we have a credit ID, yeah, credit ID, card type, credit name, and a credit score. Now you see credit ID you have here and here, credit name you have here and here. Now look at the card type. We have master visa, master visa, master visa, master visa for every user, right? Now what I'm doing, these columns I'm converting into rows, master and visa. Now can you, so I will ask the questions, please tell me. For Cloud Pandit is having how many cards? Cloud Pandit is having how many cards? Two, Mastercard and Visa card. What is the score he is having in Mastercard and what is the score he is having in Visa card? 978, 978. So instead of having two rows here, I'm just getting everything in a single row. You see, one Cloud Pandit, Mastercard is having 978, Visa card is also credit score is 978. Okay, in Mastercard credit score is 978, Visa card credit score is 978. So these column I converted into, sorry, these rows I converted into columns. Understood? Master visa, master visa. These are available as a rows. I converted into columns. I converted into columns. Understood? So how to do that is, first we have three things you need to do. First, group by, pivot, and pivot column. Group by. So how you are grouping? I am grouping based on credit ID and credit name. Can you tell me, when I group this data based on credit ID, credit name, how many groups I will get? See, credit ID, this column and
Five.
this column. How many groups
Five.
I will get? Everybody agree, friends? I will get 5, or I will get 6, 7. How many I will get? Tell me.
Yes. Six, I think. Six or five. Six maybe. One, two, three, four, six, eight.
How many groups, friends? Yeah, most of the people
Six.
answered correctly. There are total 6 groups. There are total 6 groups I will get, isn't it? Okay. So when you group it, so when you got 6 groups, meaning you will get a 6 rows. You see, you got 6 rows here. Understood? You got 6 rows. Now that is my first transformation. A group by any topic. Then you need to see pivot key. Okay, what column you need to convert from rows to columns? I want to convert my card type. I need to convert from rows to columns. Okay, I have a rows. I need to convert into columns. Pivot means, please note down somewhere in your system. Pivot means row to column. Okay, so which row here you need to convert into columns. Here you see, this is the rows, master visa, master visa. In this column, whatever records I have, these things I need to convert into columns. You see, when I say master visa, master visa, how many unique values I have in these rows? Only 2. That's why 2 columns added. If you have your master visa, and what are the other types you will have, friends? Some other types also you will have gold or something, master gold or something. So let's say you have 3 types, then 3 columns will be added. As we have only 2 types, 2 columns added. Okay, that is the second step we need to do. Now third step is how you want to keep this particular information. Okay, how you want to keep this particular information. So when you grouped it, one master cloud pandit 978. So if you have a multiple records with the same group, one cloud pandit with same group, if you have, what you wanted to do, I want to, like, if you want to do some kind of a summing, you can able to sum it. Now, but pivoted column, you just converted master and visa to the columns. Okay, now what data you want to populate here? What data you want to populate here? So what data I want to populate is credit score. Okay, sum of credit score, meaning same credit score will come from here. See, based on master. Okay, for cloud pandit, for master, how much score he has? 978. So 978 will come. For cloud pandit visa card, how much he has? 978. Okay, likewise all this data will be like credit score will be added, something like this. See, 978, 978, 2 rows, 978 for master, 978 for visa. So those two will come in a columns. Okay, any questions, friends? Here, please tell me if you have any questions here. Everybody's fine, friends? If everybody is fine or any questions, please let me know. Okay, then just let me move on. Now you see pivot overview diagram. See, this is how I'm going to implement the pivots. So I will read the source data. I will apply a pivot transformation. Then when you apply pivot transformation, you are converting the rows to columns. Those columns, if you want to include in your output, then you need to use a map drifted transformation. But this map drifted will not be available by default in these actions. Okay, when you apply pivot transformation preview result, you will be able to see map drifted. You need to use this map drifted to get the output. In output, if you want to get those new rows, you need to use map drifted. Then you need to use derive column. Okay, use derive column to identify. Let's say, see, previously you see I have in this result, if the master score and visa score is same for Cloud Pandit, then he is eligible for maybe for any loan or something. If these two are not same for Rama, see, these two are not same for Rama, so this record is like ineligible. So he is eligible again. Krishna, Sai is ineligible, Srini is eligible, Shiva is eligible, something like that. Okay. Now I'm going to use this derive column to say who is eligible, who is not eligible. Final output, I can write it into my storage. Okay. See, this is how the things will look like. So I'm going to apply a group by on credit ID, credit name, and I'm going to add the credit score as a data. And I will add the two columns like master and visa. For master and visa columns, I will add the credit score as a data. Unpivot transformation. See, unpivot means, so this is what, friends, this is what data. Tell me, this is what data. Okay, this is what I want to get it from this data. So this is the, we just now applied pivot transformation to get this data, isn't it? Again, I want to convert this pivot data to unpivot. Okay, meaning in a, so instead of maintaining master and visa as a two columns, I want to maintain in a single column. So for that, we are going to use the unpivot transformation. We are going to use the unpivot transformation. So for this, first you need to ungroup. Again, same. How will ungroup is based on a credit ID, credit name. You just group it. One Cloud Pandit. Okay, one Cloud Pandit. So one group. Okay, one ungroup. Next, we have a unpivot key. So what is the column you want to add? So because unpivot means you are adding the new column. You are actually converting these columns to rows, right? So if you want to store this master and visa as a rows, you need to add the one column. So that column name I'm saying card type. Okay, what data I want to populate for this column is pick column names as values, meaning master is a column name, visa is a column name. These are the values for my card type column. Okay, that is nothing but you see a card type is the column. For that, my actual values are these column names. Master is a value, visa is also value for this particular column. Okay, next I need to populate the maybe data for this. Right now you see, so what I can do, I can say just credit score. Okay, what I need to say, I need to populate the credit score, meaning these scores I need to populate. So this name can be anything. Again, you no need to be exact credit score name, but just to make sure same table I'm populating, I have given this particular credit score column name. But you need to make sure one more thing, that is, so here master and visa of type what? Master and visa columns of type what? Integer. So when you are adding a credit score column, when you are adding this column, right? So credit score, this can be anything, whatever you want to add, you can add. So whenever you are adding this column, you need to say integer. Credit ID, credit name. Credit name is a string, so you need to make sure this is also string. So both you need to keep it in a string format. Then, so when you are saying card type, you need to say string. Okay, so I know it's a little bit confusing for you as you are doing it first time. So if you have little bit experience area, you will not confuse. Okay, so when you are grouping, these two are string, right? So for these two, what you are doing, you are just adding one more column. Okay, that column is a card type, so card type is added. Next, I'm adding one more column, credit score. So credit score also added. So card types will come master, visa, all these things. These values will populate respectively here for all cards. Say, let's say master 978 for Cloud Pandit. You see, one Cloud Pandit master 978, one Cloud Pandit visa 978. You are, see, you don't look at the data. Like, I don't want you to see the change how it is happening, but you just look at the data. Here you see one Cloud Pandit. Okay, Cloud Pandit score is 978 for master, Cloud Pandit score is 978 for visa. So whether I am getting same data or not, here you see, okay, one Cloud Pandit, one Cloud Pandit for master it populating 978, for visa it populating 978. First, to try to understand how the data is changing, then you can able to understand whether how it is converting from columns to rows or rows to columns. Okay, unpivot means these columns converted into rows. You see, clear? Okay, friends. Now you see unpivot overview. So I'll just read the source, apply unpivot transformation, and write it into the my sync. That's what I will do. So here I am just ungrouping based on credit ID, credit name, and I am adding a card type. Okay, card type is a string, and a credit score it's a number, so I'm just adding it as an integer. Okay, so don't worry if you're not able to understand. I will show you practically so that you may have some idea. This is the pipeline. In this pipeline, I have activities. So activity called data flow activity I'm going to use to execute my data flows. So to execute this data flow, I need to turn on the data flow debug. Okay. Mapping data flow action, we talked about all this transformation. Then we talked about all this transformation. The left transformations are pivot and unpivot. Those things we are covering today. Okay. Next, mapping data flow actions, we talked about all these things. Estimations, I'm just creating the storage today, and I will create the reference points as many as we want. One data flow I will create. So that is up to you. So if you want to create a single data flow for both the options, so in a single data flow you can able to define two flows. No, I don't want to have both the pivot and unpivot in a single data flow. I will confuse. Then you can create a two data flows. But if I want to execute these two data flows, a single data flow, that is up to you. You can execute in one pipeline or multiple pipeline, but I will execute both of them in a single pipeline. What type of IR we need to use? Azure IR. Okay, other IRs will not support you. Next, prerequisite data lake storage, key vault, all these things we are aware. Okay, activity pipeline. Next, let's talk about required resources, data lake storage Gen2, key vault, data factory V2. These are the required resources. So I'll just go and create these three resources. Okay, clear? So before I go, anyhow I have shown you, right? So this is my data. This data will be converted like this. Okay, let's come here. Okay, let's first click on storage account. I don't have any storage. Click on storage account. See, this is the subscription. Resource group. I don't have any resource group. You see, I don't have any resource group. Let me create a new resource group. I can say cloud BI master. Click OK. Next to storage name, I can say cloud Pandey ADLS V2 store. Somebody has taken, okay. Cloud Pandey ADLS store, okay. Cloud Pandey ADL store V2. Click networking, all those things. In advanced tab, yellow hierarchical namespace, click review plus create. Okay, create it. Come here. So I want to create Azure key vault today. Okay, you want me to create? I can create it, but that's not required actually. Click on data factory, search for data factory. Click on data factories. Click add to create the data factories. This is the subscription. This is the research group which we have created. Data factory name I can account funded PDF V2 0107. Git configuration I will configure it later. Click review plus create. Say click the. Meanwhile, let's create the Azure keyword also. Let's click on Azure keyword here. Click add keyword. Resource group is this one. Keyword name I can say cloud funded AKV0107. Access policies. Click add access policy. Click secrets. Click selected. Cloud Pandit KDF V20107. Click selected. Click add. Then review plus create. Okay, let's come back to the storage. Go to storage. Click on containers. Click on container. So here, let's keep the container name as something like pivot data. Okay, pivot data. It's an unpivot data. Okay, I can say here. Yeah, I don't require all other folders. Let it be these two folders only. Okay, so what I will do first, I will upload a pivot data. That pivot data I will load it into unpivot. Then I will load from unpivot data to pivot. Okay. Okay, let's do one thing otherwise. Input for pivot. Okay. Input for unpivot. Now you see all the source for pivot I will upload here. Okay. Let's first upload the input for pivot. Okay. What is the input for pivot table? Input for pivot is this one. This data I need to convert like this. Right? Take this. Just put it. Oh, shit. No issues. I'll just tell you how to get this. One second. Let's go inside pivot. See, anyhow you understood, so I'll just delete this data. Okay, we have only this data now. You see pivot.csv. Let's open in Notepad++. Okay, now you see you have all this data. Okay, now click on this, upload. Let's upload that on pivot data. Okay, pivot input. This is the pivot input, right? Select pivot.csv. Click on this. Click upload. Okay, so this is the data I have uploaded. Let's come back and upload the unpivot input later, but let's upload the pivot input I just uploaded. Now go back, click on access policies, show keys, copy this key, come to click create Azure keyword. Forgot to create. Okay, meanwhile, let me open the data factory as well. Just click on go to resource, click on author and monitor. Okay, now click on manage. Turn on data flow debug first. Okay, this is what we need to do. Let's turn on. Let's go to the secret meanwhile. Go to this Azure keyword, click on secrets, click generate/import. Let me keep here ADLS key. Let's keep this secret here, create it. Your secret is created. Now come here, storage is completed. Now this is a Azure key vault. We stored the secrets. Now come to data factory, click on linked service. Okay, what is the linked service we need to connect? Gen2. Select Gen2, click continue. LS for ADLS Gen2. So I want to enter manually. First, let's form this URL. Azure keyword name, click here, click new Azure keyword. So this subscription is this and the keyword name is this. Test connection, testing connection. Create it. Now secret name. What is the secret name? ADLS key test connection. Create it. Okay. Now publish all. Publish. Now come to author tab. Let's click on this. Click a pipeline. Oh, sorry. Let's delete this. Let's create a data set, not a pipeline. Okay, let's create the data sets. Okay, click on this. Click new data set. What is this data set we need to create? First data set is go to Gen2. Click on this. Click continue. CSV. Click continue. ADLS Gen2. What input? Select this linked service. First as header, browse to that particular storage. Input pivot. Select pivot.csv. Click OK. Okay. Now we need to store the output, pivot output, right? So for that, let's create a one more data set. Pivot data. I want to store it in a pivot folder. Select this linked service. First as enter, browse it, go to pivot data folder, select this folder. That's all. Okay, click OK. Okay, now click on this data flow. Click new mapping data flow. Data flow. Click OK. Data flow pivot. First, let's add the source. Let's add the source. What is the source? My source is here. You can see pivot input. You can select the pivot input. Okay. Now data flow debug is still turning on. So yeah, once it is up, we can able to do. Come to data preview. So please wait while the debug session starts. Let's wait for some time. Then we need to use a which transformation? Pivot transformation. Okay. Meanwhile, you can see the projection. In projection, you see it's a string. Credit name is string, card type is string, credit score is string. Okay, everything seems a string. Let it be string, string, string. Let it be. Okay, our data flow debug is available. Let's preview the data. See, the data is coming, isn't it? So this is the data. So I need to group it based on a credit ID and the credit name. See, let's click on this. Go to pivot transformation. In this pivot transformation, so first thing that you need to see source. The income for pivot transformation is source one. Okay, so first I want to group it by credit ID, and the next one I need to group it based on a credit name. Okay, credit ID and credit name I am using. Okay, grouped by credit ID, credit name. Go to pivot key. So here you need to say based on what column you need to convert rows to columns. So card type, I have a master and a visa. Those two values I need to convert into columns. So in this particular column, in this pivot key, that is nothing but a card type column, I have the actual data, that is master, visa. Those two rows, those two records I need to take and convert them into columns. Okay, but what is the data you need to populate for that is I need to populate a data of what data you want to populate. So I just want to populate credit score. Just let's use credit score. Okay, so it is throwing error because it's coming as a abc integer string. It is coming. Now I want to apply a integer. So what you need to do, integer. Okay, now you converted into integer. Now you converted into integer, but what you need to do, you need to submit because you need to apply aggregation. So what kind of aggregation? If the if the that particular if that particular record is having a multiple records, I want to submit. Okay, save and finish. Okay, now see, it is working. Now just to preview the data, let's preview the data. I will tell you what changes we can able to do. Now we'll see how the data is going to come. See now what happened, friends. I got the See, master and visa became the columns, and I got the data 978, 978, 770, something like that. Okay, everybody understood this? Any questions here? Any questions, friends? Everybody's clear? Okay, fine. Now you understood this, right? Okay. See, I'm explaining once again pivot transformation. I grouped by card ID and card name. One second. Open this pivot.csv. See, this is what I have done, right? So first you group these two. Okay. Then I converted this master and visa. This master and visa, I converted from rows to columns. I converted. When I converted, do you have one Cloud Pandit master again repeated? If we have a one Cloud Pandit master is repeated twice, you sum those two values and put it here. Okay. But if you look at here, one Cloud Pandit master, you have only one record. That's why when you submit, you will get same data. You got it 978. Next, one Cloud Pandit visa. So how much you got? 978. So as you are putting master and visa here, so you don't need to have two records because you finished. See, one Cloud Pandit, when you group it, you will get two records. But when you convert master and visa, so these two rows became the single row. Okay, so these two values we are storing in a single row. Now for this, to Rama, you get actually to Rama. The reason is it should be master, it should be visa. But what you are doing, you already converted this master and visa to columns. So that's why this master and visa you have here. So you just, what you need to do, you remove this and populate the master value here, visa value here. So what is the master value? Master value 770. Okay, visa value 1240. Understood? So something like that I'm getting. So group by these two columns, and what column you want to pivot, what column you want to convert from rows to columns. This is the card type column. So what values you want to provide? So credit scores. Okay. So this is what I have done. Pivot case card type, pivot column is some integer, just aggregate function you need to use here. Okay. If you simply take credit score, it will not work. Aggregate function you need to use whenever you apply the group by something. Okay. Now you see master visa. I want to say master underscore card, visa underscore card. Then you have something called suffix. Okay, card underscore card. If you say, now you see, just to preview the data, it will become a master underscore card, visa underscore card. You see, master underscore card, visa underscore card. Before that, I want to put Cloud Pandit master card. Okay, so then you need to use prefix here. Okay, now you see Cloud Pandit underscore master card underscore visa card. Okay, so likewise, what you can do is you can just use prefix and suffix. Now, so these columns, let's say, come here. Okay, Let's try to add sync. I will tell you what will happen when you add a sync. Come to inspect. Can you see the input columns? How many columns you are getting? Only two. How many columns you are output you are getting? Two. Basically, you are getting two. Why? I converted rows to columns. I should get total 4 columns, but I'm getting only 2. The reason is pivot will not add those 2 columns. If you want to add these 2 newly added columns, then you need to use a map drifted transformation. Just click on this. And now you see you are adding these 2 columns. Okay, you are adding these 2 columns. Now if you click on sync, I'll just tell you, if you just click on sync, we'll get those 4 columns. Now you see, if you go to inspect, you will see 4 columns. You got it. You understood. That's why you need to use the map drifted. Okay, cancel this. But in map drifted, we'll see the output. Output for map drifted is same exact answer, like same output which we have received in a pivot transformation. See, Cloud Pandit Mastercard, Cloud Pandit Visa card. Okay, you got these two. Now click on this. So now you look at here 978, 978. So he is eligible. So 770, 1240. He is eligible. 1140, 1140. He is eligible. 1240, 770. He is eligible. So what I wanted to do, I want to get the records only where this Mastercard data and Visa card data is matching. Okay, for that, click on this. Just you can say what you can do. You basically use derive column transformation. Derive column. You can use conditional split. Whatever you want to do, you can do. In derive column transformation, you can add the new column, right? So new column is status. So click on this, open expression builder. I will use a case statement. Case. What this case will do, it will just check whether Mastercard score is equal to Visa card score. Then I want to say is eligible. If those are not matching, if the condition is false, false expression is, I will say not eligible. Understood? Now save and finish. Come to data preview, click refresh. Okay, now you see who is eligible. This person is eligible because both are matching. Not eligible, not eligible. Other people are eligible. Now you want to write entire data or you want to apply some filter and write it. So that is up to you. If you want to apply some filter, you can apply. But with the status, I want to write it into my destination directly. You know, filter and other stuff, how to use it. Okay. So I don't want to check anything. You can just use those filter other things. So if you want to use filter transformation, that you can use. It's okay. Let's use filter and only the eligible people we want to use. Maybe eligible people I want to write it into one file, on all uneligible people I want to write it into another file. Then conditional split, filter condition, click on. So here what you need to say, status. Okay, status is equal to eligible. Okay, only not like this. You need to write a condition, something like this, equals. Okay, if this status column value is equal to eligible, then I want to get the records. Okay, come to data preview, refresh it. See the condition equals is the function which will check status column data is eligible or not. Wherever status column data is eligible, meaning in the status column this is eligible, this is eligible, only eligible records I will get it in my output. But you already know how to use conditional split. All other things you can use. See, only eligible records you got it. Now click on this, click sync. Okay, so where you want to write this data into pivot output, okay. So that's all you need to do. You no need to preview the data. Click on this. The preview option is okay. Click new pipeline. So use the data flow debug. PL pivot. Okay. Now I just wanted to debug it. Just click debug. Okay, it is succeeded. It is succeeded. Status, you can see it is succeeded. Now come to storage. Go to click on containers. Click on pivot data. See, it has written into multiple files. Oh, shit. It is difficult for analysis. Okay. So let's cancel everything because it is very difficult for us to understand and analyze the things. Go to data flow again. Sync side, go to optimize single partition instead of multiple partition settings. I want to write it into output single file. You can see. Now come to pivot pipeline. Just click debug. It is also succeeded. Let's refresh. It is success. Succeeded. Come here. Refresh this. You will say single file. Okay. Pivot output as CSV. We'll see how the data looks like here. So you got only eligible people. You got only eligible people. But ultimately, you need to understand here. Mastercard details are here. Visa card details are here. Mastercard, Visa card, Mastercard, Visa card, meaning you converted those rows to columns. Clear? Is it clear, friends? Now what I will do, I'll just fine. Don't say. Open unpivot.csv. Delete it. Delete it. One second. Open this unpivot.csv. Remove this data. See, this is what I wanted to do as part of unpivot. As part of unpivot, what we wanted to do, we need to convert these columns into rows. You understood? These two columns into rows. Understood, friends? Now, what we do, let me just remove this data now. Let it be. So, yeah, just save this data. Come here. Let's go into unpivot input. See, input for unpivot. Input for unpivot. Click on this container. Let's upload that data unpivot.csv. Open this. Click upload. Just click on unpivot.csv. Click heading. Click view data. See, you got all this data, isn't it? Now, cancel this. Come to data factory. Let's create a data flow. Separate data flow I'm creating for this. Data flow for unpivot. Get data flow for unpivot. Click on this. Then click on this. Now click on the source. So I need to create a new data set. Click new. On the fly, I'm creating the data set. Gen2, click continue. CSV, click continue. This is, you can say VS for ADLS Gen2 unpivot input. Use the linked service. First as add browse it, select input for unpivot file, click OK and click OK. Now, yeah, this is my source. Okay, let's preview the source data. You won't get anything. You will get in a different way. I will tell you. Not at this time. You will get it different columns. Okay. Now you see you got this data, isn't it? Now click on this. Yeah, what I wanted to do. Make sure in projection you see you have credit ID, credit name, master, visa, all these things we have. So just let's say input projection, you just say input projection. Input projection means it is going to read, it is going to scan the data once again, it will get the data. Like, as I mentioned earlier, so if I don't want by default short, so I want integer, just click on default data type for integer. I don't want a short. By default it is taking as a short for the whole numbers, but I don't want short, it should be integer. Click OK. Now just say let's say click detect data types. This time it is just going to give you the integer, not a short. Okay, As you know, so these two columns I want to group it. So these two columns should be in a string. So because all the grouped columns should be in the same type, all the pivot, all the unpivot columns should be in the same group. Okay, these are in string, these are integer. Now click on this. Now come to unpivot. See in this, what is how you want to ungroup it? How you want to ungroup it? So first I want to ungroup based on a credit ID and a credit name. Okay, next click on unpivot key. See, unpivot key means you don't have any column already available. You don't have any column which is already available, isn't it? So you need to add the new column. So what is the new column name you want to add? So I want to add card type. Okay, so card type, is it a number or is it a name? It's a name, master or visa. So that's why I will give it as a string. Okay, name for the values for this column, the values is the column. So the values for this column you want to pick as a column names as a values. Column names means what? These are the column names, master and visa. These column names you want to take it as a values for this particular card type, or you want to enter manually. Enter manually means you need to enter, okay, this is the master card, is the data for this, then you need to say this is visa card, something like that. You need to add it. I don't want to add because if we have more it will be difficult for me, so that's why I will say pick column names as values. Now come to unpivot column. So what data you want to populate for this? I just wanted to say it's a credit. So you can just give whatever name you want to give here also. Credit score. So credit score is a number or it's a string? It's a number, integer. So I need to say credit score. Now what happens? These master and visa will be converted from columns to rows. In which column this data will be there? In a card type column, this master and visa will be there. So now respect to data like 978, 978, I need to add for these particular rows, right? Master will be there here. 1 second, maybe I need to explain like this. It will be easy for you to understand. See now, here what I need to do, I need to put one cloud pandit, and those columns I converted into rows, master and visa. These values also 978 978 978, these columns also I need to convert it into rows. But when I am keeping this card type, what is the data type of card type? It's a string because it's a name. Credit score, what type of this? What is the data type of this credit score? It's an integer. So I need to mark here. I need to mark here integer. Okay, I mark it as integer. Come to data preview, refresh this. See now, one cloud pandit repeated, and those master and visa, those columns converted into rows. 978 data is converted. You see 1, 2, 3. Credit score came as integer, card type came as a string. Okay, so why I have marked here it has a string. So if you mark it as integer, it will not work. Now come here, just let's refresh. It should not work. Let me see. Okay, first let's preview here. Okay, after converting this data type of integer string, let's preview data here. Okay, preview it, come here. And let me just preview. Fine, friends, it is working. Okay, you can keep it. I think yesterday it was not working. I have tried my best. Integer, string, integer, integer. Import projection. Once again, let's import projection. Because yesterday issue why it is not replicable now. But you have seen ultimately it is unpivoted. Only thing is we have some issue when we are using here it is integer. I just wanted to replicate that issue. Selecting, let's import the projection. We'll see now. Integer, string, integer, integer. Come here. Hard type. I just add it again. Hard name. Edit. Unpivot key, string type. Unpivot column name is this. Let's refresh. I think it's working. Then fine. If it's worked, fine. Well and good. See, the reason might be because credit ID integer values we can store it in a string or not. Okay, that's why this is working when I just mentioned here string. Okay, but this pivot key credit score, I'm saying integer. Credit scores means these master and visa values. Let's say this value I will mark it as a string. Now come here, come to data preview. See, immediately it is throwing here. Transformation stream is invalid. Fix the error to enable data preview. What it is saying? Master is not of the same unpivot data type. So data type issue. Okay. So for that you need to set it to the integer only. When this is integer, so there won't be any issue. Now come here. Again here, let's say I will mark it as a string. See. So again it is not working because these two, what is the values we have in master and visa integer? So those integer values only we need to include in this particular credit score. So that's why you need to have a correct data type, integer. Select integer, come to data preview. So it is working. Now finally, let me add the sync here. Click sync. In the sync, so where you want to write the data, create a new data set, new data like storage to CSV, click continue. So as of now, we have not written to the you not written as a JSON. I thought of writing as a JSON, but the problem is you'll not be able to understand whether it is really writing properly or not. That's why let me write it as a CSV only. Linked services is first was add browse it and put it in on to data folder. Click OK, click OK. So here I want to write it into a single file. Come to settings, output to single file. Set single partition. Single partition means go to set it as a single partition. Now, if you want to create a new pipeline, you can create, but if you want to do it in a same pipeline, that is also possible. Okay. Let's execute in a same pipeline. How to execute in a same pipeline? Because I just wanted to tell you, I'm not sure how many of you remember that's data flow. Just use data flow again. This time I want to execute unpivot. So what is the advantage of debug? What is the advantage of debug? First, I want to do unpivot, then pivot. So you can just create a breakpoint. So you can disable this. You just can execute this. Okay. Just to debug. Continue with your debug cluster. So it is saying when you want to execute multiple data flows parallelly, so it is not recommended, but anyhow, we are just executing one data flow activity. So let's execute on the data flow clusters. Acquiring compute. Acquiring compute. Still, since it is not going to work. Refresh this. Click on this to save. Let's see. Otherwise, let's cancel it. Okay, let's cancel this. Debug once again. Looks like we need to restart this thing. Otherwise, just so maybe as we are executing this with multiple activities, so it is not allocating the resources as it is thinking it's big transformation. Let's create a new pipeline. In this pipeline, and just use the data flow. Okay, let's try to use unpivot data flow here. Let's debug from here. Anyhow, it is not executing, right? Anyhow, still acquiring compute. Let's cancel this. Okay. So, but we can execute, but only thing is we may need to restart this data flow debug. So that's why instead of that, I just triggered here. I just debugging from the another pipeline. We'll see at least here we will get the resources. Already succeeded. Okay, successful. Now come here, unpivot output. Let's go to unpivot data. See, I just mentioned output pivot. That's okay. But you see, you got the unpivoted data. I think some name issue in unpivot transformation here. I might have given as output pivot, but it's a output in pivot. That's okay. File name you know. So you got the like data in a unpivot manner. Okay, again you converted columns to rows. Understood? Clear, friends? Everybody's clear on this?
Hello.
Yes, yes. Tell me, Paul.
Yeah, Malaya, in pivot, I understand where we referring that credit type column, right? But in unpivot, we don't have column existing. You told, and we created a credit card type.
Yes.
And I did not understand that point. Please, can you please recreate? Tell me that how we
See,
are referring
card
that two
type.
column.
card type when you are given unpivot is the card type. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. The unpivot column name I have given as a unpivot, right? Come here. See, unpivot group by credit ID, credit name. First, you try to understand. Can you tell me how many columns we have total here? Pawan, you need to respond. How many columns we have? Tell me, tell me. 4. So in that 4, how many you used in ungroup? 2. How many groups, how many columns are left? 2 groups, 2 columns, master and visa. Those 2 columns values, see, pick column names as values. Those remaining 2 column names will go as a value to this particular column called card type. That's why card type column is added, and those remaining 2 columns values went it as a rows. Yes, all remaining columns will come into this card type. Now, what is the data we need to populate for this is whatever data we have. Okay, whatever data you see here in this, we have master 978, visa 978. This data also will be converted into rows along with the columns. So now what happens when it is converted into rows from the columns, data will come something like that. So yes, you know, data is going to come something like this. You need to define the data type for this column. That's why I just added third column, that is credit score, and I have given integer. Clear, Pawan, now? Okay then. Okay, that's all for today, friends. Thank you.